स्वच्छ भारत का इरादा इरादा कर लिया हमने देश से अपने वादा कर लिया हमने।
एक पवित्र सी हवा बहेगी,
उज्जवल उज्जवल हो भारत,
कोना कोना निर्मल होगा,
विश्व कहेगा जय भारत।
जाग उठेंगे भाग्य हमारे, स्वच्छ बनेगा ये भारत।
स्वच्छ भारत का इरादा इरादा कर लिया हमने देश से अपने वादा कर लिया हमने, वादा कर लिया हमने, वादा कर लिया
Do you know that air pollution takes almost 1 million lives annually in India? Are you aware that air pollution reduces life expectancy by 3 years and 2 months for millions of Indians living in cities? And economically costs India about 8.5% of its GDP annually. Do you know what the major constituents of air pollution are? Well, one contributor to air pollution is construction and demolition waste. Every time a building is constructed or demolished, it creates a mammoth quantity of C&D waste. Almost 70% of the building stock in India is yet to come up. The built-up area is expected to swell almost 5 times, from 21 billion square feet in 2005 to approximately 104 billion square feet by 2030. This will generate mammoth quantities of C&D waste. Bengaluru, the Silicon Valley of India, is constantly expanding. Construction activity is taking place at a frantic pace, with new buildings coming up in every corner and old buildings being pulled down to make way for the new. This has resulted in massive generation of debris. Official data pegs C&D waste generation in Bengaluru at about 2,500 tons per day. Unofficially, this could be as high as 3,000 to 4,000 tons per day. C&D waste consists of concrete, metals, wood, plastic and other materials that go into the construction of a building.
Well, C&D waste, if it is not properly managed, could create dust, which is very detrimental for human health. It goes inside our lungs and it creates a lot of diseases, because these are long-term exposures. The second thing is it goes into the drains and it clogs them, which in turn leads to vector breeding, chikungunya, dengue and things like that.
To address the growing menace of C&D waste, Bengaluru came up with a plan to construct a C&D waste processing unit under a PPP model. On the basis of BBMP's criteria, in 2014, a stone crushing plant by the name of Rock Crystals at Chikkajala on the outskirts of Bengaluru was converted into a C&D waste recycling plant. The Rock Crystal C&D processing plant is privately run and is a commercially viable operation. Earlier, it was a stone crushing unit. As the city developed, quarrying activities stopped, and without raw material nearby, it was not feasible to produce natural aggregates. Hence, to make use of the existing infrastructure and finding concrete debris dumped all around the place, the facility was modified to process C&D waste. A comparable plant to be built from scratch on commercial terms would cost about 5 to 6 crores, excluding land and financial running costs. It also has the approval from the Karnataka State Pollution Board and is compliant with the latest MSW rules. The salient features of the plant's operation include a model which is self-sustainable from the revenue generated by sale of recycled products from C&D waste, while the plant is impaneled with BBMP for servicing bulk C&D waste generators. It has no logistic, financial and infrastructure support from the municipality or BBMP in this case. No subsidy or processing fee is provided by the BBMP. It is based on a zero landfill model. The land is owned by the company. The plant does not undertake transport of C&D waste. The bulk C&D waste generators find it economical to make their own arrangement to deliver segregated C&D waste to the facility. There is no user or processing fee for segregated C&D waste delivered at the facility. There is no compulsion on the C&D waste generator to buy back the processed material. The cost is about 15% cheaper than regular aggregates. A majority of C&D waste generated in the city are now processed here. Each truck that enters into the facility is first weighed. A common collection point inside the facility is made, where all the C&D waste collected from across the city is dumped. Since the waste material is of uneven sizes, it is segregated and kept separately according to size. It is then taken in trucks to the processing facility, where it is fed into the primary crushers. Manual segregation to remove plastic and other materials that cannot be processed is also done here. The primary crusher uses a vibrating feeder to crush the boulders. The crushed debris from the primary crusher are transported by a belt to a silo for temporary storage before it goes into the secondary crusher. Here, the material is further crushed with the help of secondary jaw crushers that are fed from the silo by gravitational force. This reduces the size of the material. Magnets are an important piece of equipment when recycling concrete, as they aid in the removal of rebar and wire mesh commonly found in concrete demolition debris, which escape separation in the sorting yard. Hence, magnets and metal detectors are installed at crucial points along the material flow. A conveyor belt takes the entire crushed debris to a sizing station, which consists of 3 vibrating screens that grades the product into different sizes. The graded products are collected in different silos with adequate height, where it is directly dispatched in trucks to various places as per the usage.
Fine aggregates can be a replacement for sand in many low-grade applications. If this debris is regulated, then probably you wouldn't have encroachment and unwanted development of low-lying land, because to develop low-lying land is a costly proportion, and here you have a cheap source of unlimited C&D waste supply from across the city, which is used for leveling the lands.
It's been a little over 2 years since the plant began its operation here. With the support from the government, it is bravely coping with a few operational challenges.
The biggest challenge for us is to get sufficient material to process. The challenge is to solve waste reaching the plant. Now, if you see across the city, unlike MSW waste, which is lightweight and you just put it in one cover and people would dump it across the road, the C&D waste is normally transported in a small vehicle or a truck or something. So the collection part is efficient across the city because it is getting collected. It is only the disposal. The C&D waste is only a visual issue. It is lying at the side of the road or by the side of the railway track, and it can be cleared today, tomorrow or day after. So all the concentration is on MSW waste, whereas C&D waste is not getting enough attention.
Acknowledging the need for regulated management of construction and demolition waste, the Government of India has formulated new laws. The Municipal Solid Waste or Management and Handling Rules of 2000 indicate that C&D material must be adequately handled. Previously, Indian law permitted the use of only naturally sourced building material. The IS 323/1970, which is the Indian standard specification related to aggregates for concrete, states that these should be sourced from a natural source. Thus, only virgin materials mined directly from nature could be used for government construction. However, after the launch of the Swachh Bharat mission, the newly formulated Construction and Demolition Waste Management Rules of 2016 have addressed this problem. The new rules shift the onus of waste management onto waste generators and have now allowed the use of recycled materials in new buildings. According to the Construction and Waste Management Rules 2016, the generator of waste is now responsible for collection, segregation and storage of C&D waste. The generator has to ensure that no other waste is mixed with C&D debris. Waste generators who generate more than 20 tons or more in a day or 300 tons per project in a month shall segregate the waste into 5 categories: concrete, soil, steel, wooden plastics, bricks and mortar, and shall submit a waste management plan and get appropriate approvals from the local authorities before initiating construction, demolition or remodeling work. Waste generators also have to pay relevant charges for collection, transportation, processing and disposal as notified by the concerned authorities. The rules also list responsibilities of the service provider, contractor, local authority, pollution control boards, state governments, etc. Bengaluru is growing rapidly. Over the last decade, the city has seen numerous MNCs, making it as their operational headquarters of India and Asia. This has led to a mammoth rise in the number of residential colonies and office spaces across the city. New suburbs like Yelahanka and Whitefield have come up to keep pace with this rapid growth and demand. These additions have changed the map of Bengaluru, and this has led to the generation of massive amounts of construction and demolition waste. Experts say that the city will see a constant surge of C&D waste in the coming decade because of the demand for new and renovated buildings. In the coming years, plants like rock crystals have a major role to play in managing the C&D waste to keep Bengaluru down on the pollution meter. Bengaluru is a city that celebrates all festivals with much fervour. The festival of Ganesh Chaturthi is celebrated with similar enthusiasm and splendour. The end of the festival is marked by the final procession of the idols of Lord Ganesha before it is immersed in water. Each year, hundreds of such processions are undertaken in the streets of Bengaluru, where the festival is celebrated. The BBMP took the initiative to recycle instead of the usual practice of discarding them in the lakes of Bengaluru. This year, the idols were taken to the only C&D plant in the city.
They are taking the C&D waste and also they are taking the POP Ganeshas what we have. They are crushing them and then they're using it as a... So all the POP which is coming in, most of it we are sending it to that, and whatever he is not able to handle, we are sending it to our landfill stations.
Madhuri Subbarao is an environmental activist fighting for the cause of clean and green Bengaluru, especially to make festivals eco-friendly. Over the years, she has keenly observed the detrimental effect of such massive immersions in small water bodies across the city.
There's such a lot of garbage that gets dumped during Ganesha festivals, and not just Ganesha festivals for that matter, any festival. The magnitude of immersions just in this point, I'll just talk to you about this point, is quite huge in number, close to about easily about 10,000 people immerse in these kind of points. These kind of points are very predominant in this particular area. There are about, just in Vidyaranyapura alone where you are right now, we have about 2 points where they are going to immerse. So these kind of kalyanis, as we call them, have been, or artificial tanks that have been made in about 120 to 130 places in the city.
Cities like Bengaluru will continue to expand. The need of the hour is to identify C&D waste as one of the prominent threats to the health of the citizens and work towards setting up more plants in the future. The steps taken by the Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagar Palike to process the city's C&D waste is laudable and is a definite contribution towards a clean and green India.